I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
The claim that shook the league when Angel Reese claimed she was the reason people are watching women's basketball, sports media went into meltdown. It wasn't just a bold statement. It was a shot fired at Caitlin Clark, the player many credit with revolutionizing the sport. But then came Dan Patrick. The Hall of Fame sportscaster didn't just disagree. He dismantled the narrative. What he said would expose a harsh reality that Reese's fans didn't want to hear. Without Caitlin Clark, nobody would even know who Angel Reese is. Harsh? Maybe. True? That's the question we're unpacking today, because behind the glitz, social media feuds, and viral highlights lies a cold reality. Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive. She changed everything.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark.
Who is Angel Reese? Before we break down Patrick's viral rant, let's give Angel Reese her credit. She was a monster in college. In the 2022-23 season at LSU, 23.0 points per game, 15.4 rebounds per game, 2.3 steals per game, 20-plus double-doubles in a single season. She helped LSU win its first ever NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. Reese made history, becoming a social media icon and NIL sensation. Her brash confidence, Barbie branding, and embrace of the villain role turned her into a Gen Z superstar. She signed lucrative deals with Reebok, Coach, McDonald's, Amazon, and more, bringing her NIL valuation to over $1.7 million, according to On3. But despite all of that, her national relevance was forever tied to one game and one opponent.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now.
The numbers don't lie. Clark's impact on women's college basketball ratings. Let's get into cold, hard numbers, the kind that executives can't ignore. NCAA tournament viewership 2023, NCAA final, LSU versus Iowa, Reese versus Clark. Drew 9.9 million viewers, most watched women's college basketball game ever. 2024 Final Four and championship games, even bigger. Iowa versus South Carolina peaked at 12.3 million viewers. To compare, the 2023 NBA Finals Game 3, 11.2 million viewers. MLB World Series Game 2, 8.2 million viewers. Clark had single-handedly turned women's basketball into a primetime event. Social media metrics. Clark trended globally on Twitter, X, TikTok, and Instagram. After the 2023 championship, her name generated 10x more search traffic than any other NCAA athlete. Brands saw instant surges in engagement just for mentioning her name.
But the eyeballs on the WNBA really have to do with Caitlin Clark.
Clark transforms the league. Before Clark got drafted by the Indiana Fever in 2024, the WNBA was slowly gaining ground. But after she entered the league, everything changed overnight. WNBA attendance, Indiana Fever home opener with Clark, sold out in under 10 minutes. Away games. Other teams began moving games to larger arenas to accommodate demand. Wherever she goes, ticket prices jump 300%, said ESPN's Michelle Vopel. TV ratings, ESPN reported a 67% jump in WNBA viewership year over year. Clark's games averaged 2.1 million viewers, smashing previous records. Even preseason matchups were televised nationally for the first time. Revenue impact, WNBA merchandise sales up over 360% in 1 year. Caitlin Clark jersey became the best-selling WNBA jersey of all time. Within weeks of launch, she's not just a player, said Adam Silver, NBA commissioner. She's a movement.
WNBA has been around a couple of decades, and people didn't notice the game. They're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese. Angel Reese has played a role in this, and she's a very good player. But there's nothing about her game that's really interesting that is going to translate to people who may not watch the WNBA.
The Angel Reese counter-narrative. And yet, in the midst of Clark mania, Angel Reese made headlines by rejecting the idea that Clark was solely responsible. It's not just one person, it's me too. But Dan Patrick fired back. That's fantasy. Reese has talent, but Clark is the draw. He wasn't alone. Countless analysts weighed in, pointing out that Reese's social media stardom didn't translate to viewership. Her games didn't trend. Her highlights didn't break algorithms. Her WNBA debut didn't shift ticket prices. She wasn't changing the culture. She was reacting to it.
And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history.
Villain or victim, Reese's calculated persona. Reese isn't unaware of this. In fact, she embraces the drama. I'll take the bad guy role. I know I'll be remembered. She's been compared to Draymond Green for her trash talk and aggressive presence, but Dan Patrick said she's closer to Dylan Brooks, a provocateur without the trophies. And Reese herself has played into this, mocking Clark after the NCAA title game, applauding when Clark was fouled hard, referring to herself as misunderstood while feeding the narrative. This isn't unintentional, it's branding. But Patrick made a key point. She's building a career around being anti-Clark, but if Clark disappeared tomorrow, what's left?
She is a social media star, and she has capitalized on that. And maybe she embraces being the villain. But make no mistake about it, Caitlin Clark is the reason why everybody has an opinion on what happened.
The jealousy undercurrent. It's not just a rivalry, it's personal. Dan Patrick suggested the resentment stems from how effortless Clark's rise has been. Reese is good, but Clark is different. She gets attention by just playing the game. While Reese grinds, provokes, and markets, Clark shows up, drops 30 points, and trends globally. And that imbalance cuts deep. Business strategy or insecurity? Let's be real. Reese is brilliant. She's turned herself into a brand worth millions, but her entire marketing engine is tied to Clark. Her biggest moments, all connected to Clark. Her most viral clips, Clark. The "you can't see me" taunt, Clark. The applause during the foul, Clark. Patrick's brutal summary, Reese's brand doesn't exist without Clark, but Clark's doesn't need Reese.
And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is.
How long can the villain role last? Being the villain works for a while, but the clock's ticking. Fans eventually get tired of drama. They want performance, highlights, wins. Clark's game keeps evolving. She's already pulling WNBA rookie triple-doubles, hitting buzzer beaters from 30 feet, and dishing out 10-plus assists like it's nothing. Reese, she's still finding her footing, averaging 10.3 points, 8.7 rebounds in limited minutes. Solid, respectable, but not transcendent. The broader cultural shift. Clark's impact isn't just basketball, it's cultural. Young girls are buying her jersey. Casual fans are tuning into women's sports for the first time. NBA stars like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry publicly praised her. Even former legends are weighing in. Caitlin Clark is the most exciting thing to happen to basketball in years, said Diana Taurasi. She's changing how people see the women's game. Meanwhile, Reese remains polarizing, loved by some, dismissed by others, but rarely talked about unless Clark is involved.
Okay. If she would have left it with what she had to say right before the last couple of words, I would have been fine with it. She's embraced the villain. She understands social media. She's done quite well. She is cashed in, literally cashed in.
Who needs who? Let's bring it full circle. Dan Patrick didn't just critique Angel Reese. He exposed the uncomfortable truth in front of everyone. Angel Reese needs Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark does not need Angel Reese. That's not hate. That's reality. Reese is talented, fierce, marketable. But she's not the reason the WNBA is blowing up. That title belongs to one player. The one dropping logo threes, smashing records, and rewriting history. Caitlin Clark. So the real question isn't about who's more confident, who talks more trash, or who sells more merch. It's this. If Clark vanished tomorrow, would anyone still be watching? Let us know in the comments. And if you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content.